Greetings, Homo sapiens. We have come from a planet in outer space called Matherikas.
We have come as the professionals of hyperbola. We will teach you everything as a Homo sapien has to know about hyperbolas.
Before we start our lesson on hyperbolas, we will make a brief introduction through a song. Listen carefully because you'll need to know these basics before entering this world of hyperbola.
Hyperbola vertices, foci and transverse axes. Hyperbola is a set of points when the difference of distance between P and 2 points is constant.
Vertices are points when a line through the foci intersect the hyperbola. Foci is basically 2 points on the other side of each hyperbola. You know the basics of a hyperbola. This is easy, this is simple. Now let's get deeper.
The first and most important things you Homo sapiens need to know is the definition of a hyperbola. A hyperbola is shaped like our planet. Wow! There are two types of hyperbolas, a vertical and a horizontal hyperbola. A horizontal hyperbola has the equation of x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 1. A vertical hyperbola has an equation of y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared equals 1. When it is a horizontal hyperbola, the vertices have the coordinates 0, a and 0, negative a. When it is a vertical hyperbola, the vertices have the coordinates a, 0 and negative a, 0. The distance from the foci, which is on both sides of the hyperbola, to the center is c. If you Homo sapiens want to find out what the c is in a hyperbola, use the equation a squared plus b squared equals c squared. As we aliens mentioned previously, the transverse axis is simply a line that joins the two vertices of the hyperbolas. One other thing that you Homo sapiens need to know is the asymptotes. Every hyperbola has two asymptotes that contains the diagonals of the center rectangle at the hyperbola center. The asymptote of a horizontal hyperbola is found by the equation y equals plus minus b over ax. The asymptote of a vertical hyperbola is found by the equation y equals plus minus a over bx. Now, let us aliens further teach you Homo sapiens through examples.
First, you need to find the vertices, foci, and asymptote. A squared is 81, b squared is 25, so a is 9 and b is 5. That's the vertices, which is 0, 9 and 0, negative 9. For the foci, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We know a, which is 9, and b, which is 5, which makes c squared 81 plus 25, which equals 106. C equals root 106. That means the foci is 0, root 106 and 0, negative root 106. The asymptote is y equals plus minus a over bx, which means y equals plus minus 9 over 5x.
So let's find the equation. First of all, we know that it's 0, a, not a, 0. Therefore, the structure of the equation would be y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared equals 1. And we know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And if you plug that in, it will be 2 squared plus b squared equals 4 squared, which is 4 plus b squared equals 16. And therefore, we know that b squared equals 12. And if we plug that in into b squared and 4 into a squared, the equation would equal this.
So we know what equation to use because both the vertices and the foci lie upon the y-axis. And a is the distance from the center to either of the vertices, so we're squaring a, and a equals 4, so that means that a squared equals 16. And then for c, which is distance from the center of the hyperbola to the focus is c, we are squaring it, and we get 80, and so we're plugging in numbers to c squared equals a squared plus b squared, and once we plug all of that in, we know that b squared equals 64, and now we just plug in all the numbers